A teenager left his family's farm to find work in the city but got fired after just 6 days. He dropped out of school and felt alone with no prospects. Fast forward a few decades, Henry Ford changed the car industry and business. His life is not just a success story. It's filled with controversy, failures, and obsessive genius. We'll also learn about the dark truth about Henry Ford and his connection to Adolf Hitler. This is a story of innovation, struggle, and success. Born on July 30, 1863, Henry Ford grew up on a farm in Dearborn, Michigan, which he didn't like. He often avoided work and was called the laziest boy, but he loved machinery, experimenting with clocks and farming tools. Despite finding school tedious, he learned on his own, building machines with his siblings and friends. His talent for machinery became evident when he started repairing watches for people in town. At 13, he saw a horseless vehicle in Detroit, sparking his dream to create his own. He believed he was meant for bigger things than working on the farm. However, as the eldest son, his dad expected him to take over the family farm. This led to tension, and at 16, Henry decided to leave home, disappointing his father and straining their relationship. Alone in a new city without income, unexpected help came from his father. His dad secured him a repairman job at a machine shop run by a friend. Despite disappointment, Henry's dad recognized his mechanical skill and knew it was a good opportunity. After 9 months, Henry felt he learned enough and returned home in 1882. A neighbor sought his help with a steam engine, even though he'd never operated one. He called it the little engine and, to everyone's surprise, got it running smoothly. The neighbor offered him a full-time job with a daily wage of $3. Later, Westinghouse, a company making steam engines, offered him a job as a repairman, and Henry accepted, spending summers fixing engines across Michigan and Ohio. But Henry kept his dream alive. During winters, he tried making his own steam-powered vehicle, inspired by the one he admired as a child. Despite working tirelessly, Henry couldn't make it happen. While flipping through a magazine, Henry discovered a silent gas engine. Initially, he thought it was too weak. A few years later, a company asked him to fix such an engine, changing his mind. The gasoline engine amazed him with its power and lightness. Henry saw the solution for his horseless vehicle. He suggested to his fiancée, Clara, to move back to Detroit, accepting a repairman job at the Edison Illuminating Company, where he'd work with gas engines. Thomas Edison, Henry's hero, led the company. Henry became chief engineer, doubling his pay to $80 weekly. With flexible hours, he had more time for his inventions. In 1888, Henry married Clara, and in 1893, Edsel, their only child, was born. That year, on Christmas Eve, Henry excitedly told his wife he'd made his first gasoline engine, though basic, running for a minute. After years of experimenting, he could now focus on building his dream horseless carriage. For the next 3 years, Henry worked hard on the machine, using parts others would throw away. By 1896, it was done. Named the quadricycle, it was made from 2 bikes on a square frame. On June 4, 1896, the car took its first drive, impressively reaching 20 miles per hour, one of the fastest of its time. But Henry wanted more. He sold the quadricycle for $200 and used the money for a second, improved model, taking 3 more years. This one was bigger, faster, and smoother. Henry dreamed of inventing full-time but lacked money. Realizing he needed investors, he aimed to start his own company. In 1899, Henry gave a ride to a wealthy lumber salesman who then invested in Henry's new company. Showing off his car, Henry got 12 investors and $155,000. The Detroit Automobile Company was founded in August 1899, with Henry as chief engineer. While other car brands were handmade and costly, serving the rich, Henry aimed for efficient, affordable cars for everyone. But shareholders wanted various cars made quickly for high prices, regardless of quality. Henry clashed with them, seeking perfection, not just profit. Henry knew how to build cars but struggled with the business side. His careful approach clashed with shareholders' demands for faster production, and within 2 years, the Detroit Automobile Company failed. Although his first business didn't succeed, Henry now had more freedom to focus on what he wanted. He aimed to create his own race car, focusing on making it lighter rather than more powerful. Henry's lightweight 26 horsepower, 2-cylinder racer won him races, gaining attention from previous shareholders. They decided to try again and set up a company together, founding the Henry Ford Company. The goal was to produce lightweight city cars, but Henry's racing success made him obsessed with building fast race cars. This caused conflicts with shareholders, who were frustrated with his focus on perfection instead of profits. They replaced Henry as chief engineer, and he left the company, regaining the rights to his name. With a new name, the business became the Cadillac Automobile Company, achieving commercial success. Meanwhile, Henry faced another business failure. Undeterred, he returned to racing, creating the groundbreaking Ford 999 in 1901, breaking driving records 2 years later with a top speed of 56 miles per hour. Henry's racing success attracted investors, leading to his third and final business venture in 1903, the Ford Motor Company. Although cars were initially a luxury for the wealthy, Henry Ford aimed to change that. His new company's first product, the Model A, was a 2-cylinder, 8-horsepower passenger car sold for $750 a week before Henry's 40th birthday. When Henry visited a Chicago slaughterhouse, he saw an efficient assembly line in action. Inspired, he applied the assembly line concept to car production, breaking the process into small tasks performed by workers, increasing factory efficiency by 500%. Hiring cheap, low-skilled labor, Henry further accelerated progress by manufacturing individual car parts in-house, reducing production time from 2.5 days to 90 minutes. This progress led to the launch of the Model T, a revolutionary car designed to be affordable, durable, and easy to operate. With interchangeable parts and a uniform black paint color, the Model T became an immediate bestseller, generating significant profits for the company. By 1914, Henry Ford was outselling all other American cars. Before the end of its production, more than 15 million Model Ts were sold. In an extraordinary move, Henry doubled workers' pay to $5 a day, offering free English lessons, reducing working hours to 8 hours, and introducing the 5-day workweek with weekends off. Henry believed these changes would improve productivity and attract more workers. The strategy proved successful as workers flocked to Ford factories, leading to an economic boom in Detroit and pressuring competitors to adopt similar policies. However, shareholders opposed the wage increases, taking Henry to court. In 1906, using his personal savings, Henry acquired a majority ownership stake, 51%, to regain control of the company. Despite handing leadership to his son Edsel in 1919, Henry continued making major decisions, dismissing Edsel's proposals to modernize the company. Sales of the Model T declined as competitors offered more luxurious cars. In 1927, acknowledging the changing market, Henry reluctantly agreed to build a new vehicle. Henry Ford introduced a modernized Model A with the first commercial V8 engine and 4 color options. As Henry Ford got older, he developed a strong hatred towards Jewish people, blaming them for various issues. He funded a newspaper that published anti-Semitic articles, gaining 700,000 readers at its peak. Ford published over 60 articles attacking Jews, and Adolf Hitler considered him a personal inspiration, even awarding Ford the Grand Cross of the German Eagle in 1938. Ford Motor Company, now focusing on fuel-efficient and electric vehicles, recently received a $9.2 billion loan from the U.S. Department of Energy. Despite Ford's controversial past, the company has evolved into one of the world's largest car manufacturers, valued at over $50 billion. I hope you liked the video. To give it a thumbs up and subscribe.